Hello everybody, welcome to the next part of the Guild Wars Prophecies playthrough. You guys are here with the next part of the Thunderhead Keep. Last episode, fearing that the Thunderhead Keep would be the hardest mission to date, I made sure to hunt down the attribute quest for my Mesmer, so now we finally have maxed out illusion magic 9-9. We are a maxed out character in terms of our attributes. Armor could do a little bit of work, honestly, but and our weapons are very much in need of an upgrade, but we're not really going to get any upgrades here. So we're going to do the Thunderhead Keep. This is actually my second time playing through Thunderhead Keep, because the first time I actually did a bit of a boo-boo and didn't plug in my laptop as I recorded, which meant that it was in power saving mode, which meant that, well, the audio was fine, the video was very jittery when I moved, and that, I don't think you guys would appreciate it. So I'm going to re-record this video, and then we'll get into it. We might as well get into it right now. So let's talk to Gramble Stonebook. These may very well be the last days of the Deljamore. What troubles your mind, friend? Why would you say that? Thunderhead Keep has fallen. Fallen? To whom? The stone summit smashed down the portcullis and swept through the inner bailey, left few alive. When did this happen? Just this morning. The summit managed to murder our scouts. We didn't see them coming until it's too late. King Ironhammer is in a foul mood. Never in the history of Deljamore has Thunderhead Keep been occupied by an enemy force. The stone summit may be dwarves, but that doesn't make them any less of an enemy. How bad is it? The summit have overrun everything from the bowl north of the keep all the way through the capital city far to the south. Once Thunderhead fell, the rest of the city was vulnerable. The king intends to take back the keep and the capital city. What must I do? Rendezvous with King Ironhammer and his guards. Help him get through the invading summit and regain his throne. I have not forgotten the king's kindness to my people. He will be glad to hear that. Go now. King Ironhammer awaits. If you guys remember, earlier in the story, when we fled Ascalon along with Prince Rurik, it was King Ironhammer who granted us allowed us passage over the mountains. However, it wasn't really necessarily safe passage, as unfortunately Prince Rurik fell to the stone summit. I have a little bit of hot chocolate. Still warm, so we'll see if I'll be able to make my way through it before it's emptied. So, I actually have done the bonus on this one already, and I have done, and I got it done on the first try. Just wanted to more disappointing that I have to do it again, but my own mistake happens. Honestly, I was so hyped to play through this mission because I was like, I heard it's the hardest mission ever. It's the most difficult one, it's like the most difficult mission. I remember struggling really hard when it came out, and then, like if you play with, and I remember people saying, if you play with minions, you will, it'll be extremely hard. And then I get to the final area, and I'm like killing the ads with almost no difficulty. I'm like, wait, this is it? This is the hardest mission? I was honestly a little bit disappointed. Kill all of the golem. Why aren't you killing the golem? Like literally, the same guy I'm attacking. Thank you. Oh, one thing I forgot to go over in this episode that I did last one is we actually have new heroes. While they're not unfamiliar faces, however, you can... Let's see. They're not unfamiliar faces. We've met Maloney, we met Eve. I think we even met Aiden in this playthrough. I know that Aiden was one of the ranger trainers and he is basically kind of part of, like, in lore, if I'm not mistaken, Menlo's party, like these guys are the ones who are doing all of this stuff, instead of, you know, us, the hero, if I remember correctly. So instead of having Alicia, I honestly forget, Reina, Stefan, and Orion, and I forget the monk's name. I think it's Claude. I think instead of having those guys who's been with us for so much of our journey, they're now gone. I'll miss Alicia's very aggro personality when her voice pops up. She was violent, and she was the healer. Just goes to show you how all monks, how all healers really are. They're the most violent of us all. However, these characters are all ones we've encountered in the story. You know, we've interacted with them. For example, Devona, we took several side quests from her in the pre-series, if you guys remember, all the way back in the first couple of episodes, about 40 episodes back. A long time, honestly. But yeah, about 40 episodes back, we took some side quests from Devona. I don't think we took anything from her in post-series, though. We might have taken one quest. I don't quite remember myself. And of course, Menlo, if you guys ever play Faction, actually will come up quite a lot in the Factions campaign, and he has come up every so often in this Prophecies campaign. Oh, these guys have Spellbreaker. Like when I first went through, I'm like, die, 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 and I didn't quite make the connection to the fact that these guys are blessed griffins, so they will be casting. They cast Spellbreaker on themselves, making them immune to being targeted by abilities. But yeah, but it's not so. We'll miss the other ones. We have our new friends here with us. The only one carrying over is Lena. But we don't have quite as long a history as Lena. She only started joining us in the Crystal Desert. And Littlethorn actually is still around, but I wanted to play a bit of Devona because I figured it would be kind of nice to have a hammer user because she might do a little bit more interrupt skills and things of that nature. So we can watch while we just auto attack, see what she may do. Littlethorn did have some nice interrupt skills and some deep wound application, so it's a situation where I might be tempted to, you know, go back to Littlethorn. I'm not quite sure which one's the best, honestly, in terms of damage. Maybe off video I'll look up their skill roster and see which one has the most synergy with me. One thing I really like with the change is that I noticed when I was playing through the last one is that Sin actually has really good synergy compared to Orion when it comes to fragility. She seems to apply a lot more burning than Orion did, which means that for me, fragility will do more damage, which is lovely. Means things die faster. She doesn't do Firestorm like he does, which means it does have a long cast time, and it's not super easy for the enemies to just dodge out of the way of. Tasty. So we're basically right now we're doing the first objective of clearing the city of the apparently the Tengu are assisting the Stone Summit. That or they're kind of like that or they're just agreeing not to murder each other. Either way, we need to clear the city and making sure it's safe for the dwarves to return. Beautiful. And of course, the Eve, thankfully, is another cultist who applies a blood ritual. Too bad she doesn't have blood as power, but you know, she can't be perfect. Actually, she might do blood as power, and I just don't notice it. Quite honestly, that is a possibility. But blood as power is basically is the elite version, essentially, of blood ritual, and is more effective. Yeah, we do have to make sure these guys don't actually kill King Giles Ironhammer. I'm pretty sure if he dies, we lose. And so I don't really want to lose on my second go through in this campaign, so we're definitely going to make sure anything attacking him gets murdered faster than anything else. See, we have apparently not yet been classified as clearing the city. I think when we crossed that bridge that we saw over here, I think that's when we were considered clearing the city. Or maybe the city's actually more over here and the fort's up there. I'm not actually sure which one. Which part counts necessarily as the city. So it'd be kind of awkward if we like missed a spot. We gotta walk all the way back. I don't remember having to do an in-depth cleansing of the city. Remember, I kind of just went here, killed this. I remember, like, I'm pretty sure I followed almost this exact same route that I've been following now when it came to my murder spree. That should be just fine. Excuse me. No. None of that now, good sir. Damn you, giant stomp. May you be destroyed and everything you hold dear fall to ruin. That's how much I detest a giant stomp. We got hit by deep freeze and rust, probably makes us move slower. Let's see, actually. For something to talk about, all takes twice long to bad for signets. Oh, good. Good thing I don't have any signets, so that means we don't have to worry about that additional effect on us. Accidentally interrupted fragility there, but thankfully I don't think I missed too many damage packets there. And this Necro boss gets defeated. Nice and easy. He probably has the same elite as all the other Necro bosses did. No giant stomp for you, Bucko. No. I'm not interested in that. Where is the king? He's right next to me, okay. He's just so small it makes it harder to see where he is, okay? A giant herder. Ah, that's too slow at interrupting his giant stomp. The one thing I have noticed is that I've actually, unless this is like just happened to be perfectly timed, is it seems like a couple times where I have cast Clumsiness, it has interrupted Giant Stomp. Because I think Giant Stomp might count as an attack skill. But that might have just been a coincidence where every time yeah, okay, this is actually the city. So I didn't need to actually kill all those people. Oh, never mind. Oh, well. At least you guys get to see additional murder. Originally I went over there because I was exploring. But now I'm like, wait, maybe that was part of the objective. We leveled up. One thing leveling up does for us at this point in time is that it allows us to stop working. Is that it basically gives us additional skill points that we can use to buy skills from the skill vendor. Not that we've been really particularly in dire need for more skills, but it's always nice. For example, at the end of last episode, at the end of, well, I not the end of last episode. At the end of the episode I previously had recorded, I actually I bought another skill, but that one was just another capture segment. Just to I like having at least one on hand, if not more than one on hand. That way, whenever I'm expecting to encounter an elementalist boss, I mean not elementalist, mesmer boss, I am able to cast it. Nice. Love seeing those big damage packets come off. Though I wish that Mox was a bit better about using Wounding Strike whenever he had a enchantment on him, but he's not quite the best at doing that. His AI is not quite as smart as I would like him to be. But there's nothing you can do about it. We can do about that. Dang, I actually even saw that he had used his that he was using his giant stomp, but I didn't do anything about it. The game's got to kind of angrily ping at us wherever enemy mobs are. It's like, you guys should go over here. Don't miss it. It's over here. I'm like, quiet. I will get to them when I get to them. I like how I can literally cast a spell on that guy, and I'm like, that's slowly killing him, and he's like, oh, nothing's wrong here. We're just fine. For like a few more seconds before he's like, wait a second. Something attacked me. Why do I feel this pain, this crippling anguish? I don't know. Maybe somebody cast a spell designed to murder your face off. I don't know. Must be the wind. Honestly, enemy aggro is super strange. Sometimes they will... It's like, for example, like that time, the two of them actually aggro to Moth, the other ones might not just aggro to me. Whenever I play a melee guy, I'm charging in to try and get, like, first to get all their aggro. I get, like, 2 or 3 of them, and everything else will push past me. I'm like, I see how it is. Though admittedly, that is probably kind of realistic in the fact that, you know, in real life, probably if I'm in the front line, I'm like the only frontline guy, and there's a bunch of people squishy behind me. They'll probably have like 2 or 3 guys whose job it is to intercept me. It's too slow. I'm apparently knocked down long enough for that to have gone through. Okay, hey, keep focusing that healer, buckos. We want to make sure it's dead. It's family dead. Everything it loves and adores dead. I think that might be all of them. Yeah, we've cleared the city now with this group being destroyed. So, I don't know actually if we can go to that gate and he'll open it, but I was actually doing a little bit, last time I did this, I was doing a little bit of exploring, and I was like, okay, well, how do we get in there? Like, because I wasn't sure. And then I noticed when I got to this door, I was like, maybe we can break it down, and then I realized that Jowl's Sidehammer actually would just open the door for us. And now we have a bunch of frost giants to deal with. Okay, with the double feature of no, not you. No, not gonna hit my third one. You bastard. I will not suffer through that indignity again. Thank you for casting spells into my backfire. I guess you could say that I really backfired on them. All in a day's work here. Dad jokes, mesmer skills, murder, all in a day's work. Dead. I think I tried interrupting, but I think he just died before I can cast it. So it didn't really have much to do with me. And we're almost at the keep itself. The bonus is one where it's like easier with 2 people, but I was able to do it without too much difficulty with just myself being there. And essentially what I did was, you basically kind of have to bomb rush one of the beacons. They have to light 2 beacons within 1 minute of the cutscene. Essentially, so what I did was I bomb rushed one of them. I bomb rushed one of them, picked up the torch and lighted it in, and then I dropped the torch and then ran to the other one and picked up the torch that was there. Thankfully, each of them have their own torch, so you don't have to carry it the whole across it. which would have, I think, made it so I wouldn't have been able to make it in time. It's probably, they understood that, I assume. So that's why they put in the second one. So if you have a friend, you guys can just split up, go do those torches real quick. The enemies won't be there super fast. So you have plenty of time to get her done. Because there'll be some ads that spawn. These Nashers, man. Dead. That looked like a meteor. It looks like Sin has meteor. I approve of that spell. It has caused me much havoc. And so it should cause my enemies equal havoc. That guy should be dead any seconds now, so I'm gonna start focusing down this Nasher. Put some fragility for some AoE damage on this bucko. Them bone fiends. The enemy is smart enough to have a mini mancer, but I can't have one. If I was a necromancer, we could have had a mini mancer, but as I've said many times before in the series, despite my best attempts to try and get into necromancer, have never been a big necro fan. I might be more of a necro fan if I was playing through it like I have been with my mesmer. Maybe like I'm getting into it, used to it kind of thing. But there's only 3 app campaigns, and I already have 3 classes I want to play. Ritualist, Paragon. Paragon will be a bit of an interesting one because it's a mid-range DPS, but it's also or support, and it's better as a support. So I'll be so basically, my end build will probably make it so my heroes are my main sources of damage, while I am more of the supporty boy. Like while doing, I'll still do a little bit of damage, you know. But where is Mox? Oh, he's dealing with he's dealing with some scary people. I forgive you, Mox. I forgive you. Those people do really deserve to die. But I was being murdered. I was being harassed, and my savior was not there to save me. Oh wait, there's still a giant? Oh, I guess maybe he's from a different group. I got aggroed. Delgemora belong to the Stone Summit. All those who oppose us shall die. That is at least according to the boss there, Dagnar Stonepate. I'm actually doing this as a slightly different way than I had done it in my first time. First time I just wanted to kill this guy. I'm like, maybe it'll like cause a cutscene if I focus this guy down. But it ended up being that he was basically by himself. Killing him didn't really change the aggro of anybody else. Where is Jalis Ironhammer, and why is he all the way by himself, ready to die like an idiot? No, do not do this to me, Jalis. Do not do this to me. I will not have to replay this. No! For fuck's sake! Oh my god. King Jalis Ironhammer was so fucking retarded. I have to redo this mission now. Alright, I'll be back, guys. Alright, we're back. This time, we're going to use the same strategy as what I had done previously. That got me the win the first time. Unfortunately, as you guys saw last one, the mentally handicapped AI got himself killed by charging headlong into 2 groups of enemies when I was focused somewhere completely different, which led him to being killed by a bunch of hexes on him. And unfortunately, if I was a healer, for example, he wouldn't have died because I could heal him. But henchies and heroes will not heal allies. It is one of their big, giant design flaws. So, unfortunately, so we're just going to basically do the strategy that worked last time. What I was actually saying, just as Jalis got himself killed by failing the IQ test, I was just talking about how the first time I'd done it, I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, this is working out pretty decently, but, I was talking about how, like, it was actually super easy on my first time, so all I did is I walked down the staircase and attacked Dagnar, thinking maybe if I kill this guy, that'll be the end of it. But then I realized that I killed more guys. But here's the thing: none of the other groups are actually close enough to aggro to him to save him. So I just easily clap this boss, and I can just go in and kill the heretics right here. And I did, after doing a little bit of testing, I did find out that in fact I was actually correct. That I actually didn't need to go into that city to kill Veer the Tengu. I actually could have just crossed that bridge right then and there and made my way inside to the city, cutting out some travel time and means slightly less experience, but I think that's just fine with me. Let's wait just a moment to let King Zhao's Iron Hammer recover, because we don't want him dying again. Let's see, but on the bright side, we only have one last group to make. We only have a couple more groups to make our way through. Now we're going to be united because our melee people are not running around like their heads are cut off. We're actually fighting together as a unit now. Just one last group to go, and then we'll actually initiate the cutscene. So I'm just going to pick up this loot now, instead of having to worry about it later. I was trying to get ahead of the stomp there. We ended up being a little too ahead of it. Alright, last one is dead. So this is the cutscene here.
You have taken the keep, but your fight is not yet over. The Mursat and their white mantle counterparts are headed this way. They drive before them the denizens of the Shiver Peak Mountains. I grant you this boon and the aid of these undead servants.
His lips weren't moving. That is very suspicious, if I do say so myself.
You must prevail, for the tale does not end here. Your destiny lies to the west.
So what I'm going to do is I need a bomb rush this way. I'm going to actually order my heroes and edgies to guard that gate. Because last time, what happened was that those guys died pretty fast. But I'm thinking I might be able to keep them alive a little bit longer by ordering my henchies there. There's actually a bit of a glitch right there. So it looked like I fell to the ground and then pop back up. Because there's actually not quite the clear connection there. Drop this item so I can run without anything slowing me down. So right there, I had them ordered there. That way they are assisting the Cairn Wraiths in trying to... No, the Smoke Phantoms, not Cairn Wraiths. The Smoke Phantoms in clearing, keeping the gates clear. At this point, honestly, it's going to be mostly just relaxing. Due to the simple fact of the matter that these guys, except for the very end, where there's one decently sized group of enemies, it's mostly ones and twos, maybe 4 tops in a group. So honestly, this is very much a, well, we can just sit back and relax moment. You know, just talk about random stuff. We still have to kill our enemies, you know. Like these Jade Armors. Occasionally there's Mursat that come in. More Mursat come in as time goes on. But again, it's only 1s, 2s, 3s, or 4s. So I'm not overly worried about it. We just need to make sure... I was actually expecting like a simultaneous attacks from the left side and the right side. but actually they don't usually go in at the same time. There's maybe one or two instances of that happening. But I still have to be kind of careful about going too far out, because you know, sometimes they will come. They won't come at the exact same time. They will still like move, like regular move. So I'm gonna pull back in here, draw on those frost giants, because we don't need to push out that far. As you can see, while it's not happening at the exact same time, it is coming a little bit late, and because we're taking a long time to murder all of them due to how spread out they were. You know, this group started coming in. So now that frost giant actually de-aggroed from us is going up to Jalis, so I'm going to go deal with him. One attack will actually stop these guys usually from focusing Jalis, but I'm not sure that happens this time. So what I did last time is sometimes when that would happen, I would just run over to the other side, aggro them with a couple of spells, then run over to where my heroes are going to be flagged down, and then come back in. We'll see if it's harder this time around. Man, now we could I'm just gonna hang out here, pretty easy way. I'm not gonna charge towards the gates, because that's honestly not the most efficient way to go about this. Because this, you know, especially because they actually get a little bit more grouped up here, makes my life easier. Oh, one thing that was actually a nice drop from doing this again is that there's a giant stomp right there. I noticed it a little second too late there. One nice little thing that happened for doing this again is actually I got a minor vigor drop. So now I have 30 extra health. Excuse me. And now this one, it's going to start coming ones and twos. Like, honestly, I don't remember how long it will be. I think that honestly might have been like 10 minutes of just waiting. At least it feels like it was 10 minutes of waiting, if it's not. Because the ads they don't just run in, they kind of go start, stop, start, stop. For the fun of it, it's like I've like walked up here and just been like touched the firing lever just for the fun of it. It doesn't actually kill anything. It does a little bit of damage, but by the time they get inside, you know, they're already usually healed through regeneration. You know, just by being out of combat. You guilted me when I tried to inflict a crippling anguish upon you. Who do you think I am? Someone who cares what you think? I do. Okay. As let's defeat this jade armor now. I've lost the face of the earth. I don't know why he's trying to wild blow a cultist, because she's not in a stance right now. So there's no real point to do wild blowing her. But you know, you do you, boo. And there's one thing I am kind of curious about, if it's possible to do. Like, maybe if you're in a big group of friends, you might be able to try it out. Is I wonder if it's possible to like have one like going out there and just killing every ad outside, and that would just finish the mission faster. Like, don't worry too much about the bonus right here. The quest log for some reason does not update after you complete it. So basically, you don't know if you failed the bonus until after the end of the mission, but for me, I did basically the exact same thing I did just now when I got the bonus done, so I think it should be just fine. Oh yeah, and there's actually one thing I was thinking about. And this just popped in my mind because as I was talking about Vigor. is something about the Guild Wars 1 Savage Rules that came to mind. Is one thing I've been doing for a lot of skills that that basically give maximum hit points instead, like because Savage Rules use wound systems. Is instead of having it give an extra wound, I've been having it so they reduce wound penalties on people. For example, if you would have you normally have a -1 wound penalty. Sorry. If you'd have like if you normally have a 1 wound, you'd have a -1 to all trait rolls penalty. And basically, so I made Endure Pain, you may be able to make it so you removes those penalties instead of an extra wound. For Vigor runes, I'm thinking of doing the same thing. So minor would be -1, bigger runes, major would be minus, like, you know, counteracts up to +2 of it. And then, where are you going, Ritualist? And then the Jade Bows are actually going in a bit of a unique direction there. Where are you going, armor? No, they're not bows, they're armors. They're going a very unique way. The only concern I do have with that idea is that it might make other abilities less valuable. Like, it might make Endure Pain less valuable because of it. Because there's only a certain amount of wound penalties you can have. So... But, also another thing is that you're trading off things, so I'm thinking it might be valuable because you'll be trading off other bonuses to get those penalty reduction stuff. So it might be not the end of the world. I'll think about I'll think about it. But yeah, that's why it's an idea guy situation going on there. His Mesmer boss and his energy surge trying to drain me of my energy faster than I can use it. We should be focusing all this same target, guys. Kill him. There we go. Perfect. Now we got him. Enemy Mesmers are honestly super tanky because just because of the fact that they can heal themselves so effectively with the Ether Feast, and unlike healers, they have fast casting, which makes it harder to, which makes it very hard for someone like me to interrupt them because I'm not very fast at interrupting things. One of my weaknesses as a Mesmer. Oh, they're going up around. No Jade Armors. Yeah, they aggro to him. On the bright side, he's crippling. Oh my god. King Jiao's Armor has just took a lot of damage there for somehow. He still is taking damage. I don't know what's hurting him. Unfortunately, King Jiao's Armor does not return to where he was. So he kind of is now easier to aggro, essentially. I wasn't paying too much attention. This week I actually hadn't made much progress besides finishing up Warrior and making sure everything was up to snuff. I really do need to, and starting Necromancer, I really need to dive in more on that one. But I don't think I'll be able to do it today. Busy, busy, busy. Mastic stands. I want to have the enemies come in. That way, it's easier to react to like a one-string enemy going over here. Then we'll make sure the enemy comes to us instead of us to the enemy. Might as well interrupt that. Get some free damage in with power with a good old power spike. This is domination magic. Okay. They definitely don't need that anchorite stuff. So I'm just gonna salvage that. Improve sale value. I do like the improved sale value ones. It means more money for me. As you can see, we're in a situation where it's 1 and 1. I always do my best to press my space bar when as I'm casting a spell to try and basically push my henchies, who are not always the best at actually doing what I tell them to do, to actually attack, you know, in like more efficiently. It doesn't always work, but hey, it's better than doing nothing. Yeah, there's the one-off elementalist coming in. Looks like let's see, got him. Yeah, that's basically the whole thing. You know it's done because when Confessor Dorian comes in. Last time he came into this western entrance. I'm kind of curious to see if he'll come through the east this time, or if he'll always come from the west. But until then, it's ones and twos, ones and twos, ones and twos. We'll just wait here for him to come in. Because we're in range to fire at them before they take it. You go left or right, so we're good. Mox, you had Shadow Charge up. Why did you walk there, you slow bucko? One of the most amusing things I find with Mox is that for some reason he will Shadow Charge to a target and then walk away from them. It's like, bruh, attack them. Kill them if you're going to Shadow Charge to them. Or else what's the point of Shadow Charging? And there's one guy just hanging out of the blast range. If you have like a friend, you can very easily like have somebody up here just for like the start. And just have them like fire. And do a little bit of damage to these guys. Stuff like that. So I wonder how, does this reload? I actually don't know if it reloads. Oh, it does. We almost killed that guy before he even moved an inch. Alright, let's go back down though. But yeah, it doesn't do a lot of damage and it's not very fast, but you know, it's free damage on a target. So let's see if this guy is fully healed before he gets here though. That would determine how useful that idea is. Yeah, he's not fully healed, which means it's just a quick 1-2 punch and he's dead. So at least it did have some value. I think we are near the end. I think the Elementalist and Jade Bow combination, I think, came pretty close to Confessor Dorian arriving. Yeah, but it's already been 10 minutes since it started. If you're by yourself and you're not recording a video, I recommend putting on a nice little video on the side that to keep you guys entertained. Maybe, you know, even this video. Once I'm done with this video, I'll be hopping on over to the Guild Wars 2 life because I have some guild missions that are going to go on soon enough. There we go. Not Professor Dorian's group. His group is bigger than this. Hey, I'm glad Giles isn't dead. It'd be extremely inconvenient if he was to have to redo this mission a third time. Off we go. Alright, last one. No. Oh. Well, I guess the best thing to do when you're waiting for the game to, you know, finish your suffering is talk about the weather. While it may be cold in game, it's starting to warm up around here. End of winter, spring is around the corner. We'll see if it rains more often. There's like a period of like a month here where it was like half of the deck was permanently wet. So we'll see if that trend picks up again in spring, or if we're just done with water for the rest of the year. Might as well go back to our favorite pastime: fire a giant ballista at a jade bow until he starts moving against us. Looks like it only took one shot before we started moving along. It looks like there's actually 2 groups this time instead of just one. But it's a group of 1 and a group of 2, so it's like not all that concerning. And he's dead. Which means now we can take our attention to this group here. Aggro the armor. A life transfer. Target foe and adjacent foes suffer -8 health regeneration, which you also gain as health. Intriguing. I did actually have one idea about one thing. I did have an idea about adding a little bit of change to create a little bit of extra class flavor. Is instead of making 2 separate skills that are almost identical and having to, you know, I was thinking of having the default, having the default skill, for example, like, if you've ever familiar with Savage Worlds, Bolt. Bolt is basically, you know, the same thing. It's basically, you know, the same thing for everybody. You modify its trappings and things like that. However, was that an idea? But I had an idea of basically making class-specific power modifiers. The way that they do modifiers in Savage Worlds is you have they have the normal base spell, and then they have additional power modifiers you can apply in. But usually it's everybody who has this can use these modifiers. But I was thinking of making it so additional modifiers. I was thinking of making additional modifiers where it's like, but it's class specific. Like, for example, your Necromancer, you know, kind of like in Guild Wars 1, where it's like, you know, if it's for a Necromancer, it'll have a skull symbol on it. So maybe I'll make it so it's like a modifier of like a skull modifier skull, where it's like if you are a Necromancer, you get to use anything with a skull modifier to it as a potential modifier. The other idea I had, just as I was thinking about it, and basically as I was relaying my idea to you guys, I just had a second idea, which I think is also actually pretty intriguing, is making it so making it so like when someone takes this, they can permanently upgrade their ability with a certain modifier, for example, based on their class, and by permanently upgrading that ability with that modifier, you know, they'll increase the base cost of the ability, but it would also make it so it might make it cleaner. I'm not too sure. Is that Confessor Dorian? Yep, there's Confessor Dorian. For some reason, he starts right there, and then looks like he'll go all the way around to the left side. This should be the last group in the mission. And if I remember correctly, there's no other groups that came in with him. So it's just waiting for his group to meander on over all the way around the fort. Another situation where you can ballista them at least on 2 separate occasions because they take their sweet time of it. We'll just wait for them calmly right here. No need to rush them. We are gentlemen after all, ladies. Alright, time to bomb rush. They look pretty dead. They didn't last very long. Leaving just this last Justicar here alive. Oh no, friend, there's 2 priests behind him. I didn't even notice these guys existed. Your Masat gods are not here to save you, scum. Alright, time to talk to King Giles and Ironhammer and end this mission. Mode is done. Again. Giving us the is basically this is if you get the bonus, that right there is when you get the bonus there. I wasn't sure if I got it until that very moment. I was like, please, 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 please.
Not even death will save you from my wrath. If you will allow me this indulgence, King Ironhammer, perhaps the Confessor can still be of some use to us.
Undead minions.
Never give me the opportunity for revenge. This is just as it was.
And then Giles died. Not really. This guy, funny, he just kind of stands there for a while, doesn't actually attack anybody, do a little bit of teleporting, and finally he attacks.
The valleys of the Shiver Peaks will be painted in blood. At this time, the ascendants will rise, and the way to the door will be clear. The time of our judgment is near. We must prepare.
Excuse me.
Today's was a great victory, but now your true challenge begins. You must go to the Ring of Fire Island chain. In the caldera of the largest volcano, you will find the power you need.
The Ring of Fire? A more treacherous land interior there is not.
True enough, but that is where we will find the Door of Komali. Behind it lies the secret to defeating the Mursat.
You're a brave lot, but you'll not make it past the beachhead.
Not without some dwarven help. I will go with them.
Breknar, do you know what you are saying?
Yes, brother.
A mission to the Ring of Fire would be suicide.
Then may we meet each other in the afterlife.
I do find it funny how wiggly the dwarves are, back and forth, left, you know.
This portal awaits your destiny. Do not let it linger. Seize that which you were born to do.
Until we are reunited in the Great Forge.
Go with honor, my brother. Fight bravely in the name of Deldramor.
And there the Vizier and King Giles go.
It won't be long now. Not long at all.
And who may you be? I say, even though I know exactly who it is. But hey, you know, if it's the role play, you know, I pretend not to know. We are now in the Ember Light Camp Outpost, and this is where we shall end the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, press that like button down below. Subscribe to see more of my content, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.